So, you've now cut your grain, and dozens of sheaves dot your paddock. What next? Well, you need to stack it. Why? First of all, you need to dry the grain. Remember that you actually harvested it a bit earlier than you would have with a combine harvester. You need to get it off the ground. You certainly don't want mud and dirt to get in with your grain. And at some stage you're going to actually have to put them onto a truck or a trailer and take them away for further processing, which we don't actually cover in this course. And don't forget, you also need to protect your harvest from rain. Now, in eastern Hungary, you can get some amazing, huge and heavy thunderstorms in late summer, and it may be the same where you are. But even if it's a light shower, you don't want to get water onto your grain. You also need to protect from birds, and for these reasons you want to actually stack your grain with your heads protected, your heads in the centre of the stack, which is quite different from a lot of stacks that you'll actually see in illustrations where they're all sort of sitting there leaning with the heads out. And finally, you also need to protect it from wind. Your structure has to be stable if a big wind comes up. There are several traditional ways to do this. As I mentioned, there's a traditional stalk, which you see in England. But the Hungarian Kereszt or cross protects the grain by covering the heads while allowing the air to flow around it. A full Kereszt is 18 sheaves, and a small one is 14. At the start of the harvest, it's a good idea to put all your ties into bundles of 18. Each bundle will then make one Kereszt. So, how do you make a Kereszt? First, I'll show you with a model, and then I'll show you the real thing. The first sheave is folded in half and laid on the ground with the heads protected by the stalks. The next one is laid across it, and again with the heads in to the centre. The next is placed in line with the second, and the next after that at right angles, and the one after that again in line. Each layer is made of 4 sheaves. Heads are always in towards the centre. At the top of this, the 18th sheath will make a roof. You can fold it, but it's pretty hard with a big sheath. Or just use the stalks to cover the other heads and potentially lose some of the grain on that 18th sheave. But you're not quite finished. You also need to make sure that your structure is stable and won't be blown away by the wind or moved by stumbling livestock. You can do this by twisting stalks from various sheaves together. Let's see the whole process just sped up a little bit.
még a fejét kiszem hányra, páros halál minden.
So that's the end of my how-to series. I hope to make a Hungarian version at some point, but don't hold your breath. In the meantime, I've also got some videos of harvesting competitions, a little bit different from traditional in that they work in blocks rather than lines, but you may find them interesting.